Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and I'm going to read to you the transcript of the conversation between the President of the Ukraine and Donald J. Trump. And I want you to notice something in this transcript. The very first line is it's unclassified, first of all, but it's unclassified by the order of the President. So one of the things that they always mention on the media is that Trump is trying to block people from seeing this. Well, he was the one that actually declassified it. So just realize that it doesn't make sense. And the reason he declassified it is he wants people to know about it. If there was truly something damning in it, he wouldn't want people to know about it. But he's the one that actually released it. So here's the transcript. The President. Congratulations on a great victory. We all watched in the United States. You did a terrific job. The way you came from behind, somebody who wasn't given much of a chance, you ended up winning easily. It's a fantastic achievement. Congratulations. President Zelensky. You're absolutely right, Mr. President. You did a big win. We did win big, and we worked hard for this. We worked a lot, but I would like to confess to you that I had an opportunity to learn from you. We used quite a few of your skills and knowledge, and were able to use it as an example for our elections. And yes, it is true that these were unique elections. They were in a unique situation. We were in a unique situation that we were able to achieve a unique success. I'm able to tell you the following. The first time you called me to congratulate me when I won my presidential election, and the second time you are calling me now calling me when my party won the parliamentary election, I think I should run more often so you can call me more often and we could talk over the phone more often. The President, laughter. That's a very good idea. I think your country is very happy about that. Well, yes, to tell you the truth, we are working hard because we wanted to drain the swamp here in our country. We brought in many new people, not the old politicians, not the typical politicians, because we want to have a new format and a new type of government. You are a great teacher for us, and in that. The President. Well, it is very nice of you to say that. I will say that we do a lot for Ukraine. We've spent a lot of our effort and time, a lot of time. Much of the European countries are doing, and they should be much more than the European countries are doing, and they should be helping you more than they are. Germany does almost nothing for you. All they do is talk, and I think it's something that they should really ask them about. You should really ask them about. When I was speaking to Angela Merkel, she talks Ukraine, but she doesn't do anything. A lot of European countries are the same way. So I think it's something you want to look at. But the United States has been very, very good to Ukraine. I would say wouldn't say it's reciprocal necessarily, because all things happening that are not good are not good. But the United States has always been very, very good to Ukraine and the Ukrainian president. Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm not 100%, not only 100%, but actually 1,000% that I can tell you the following. I did talk to Angela Merkel, and I did meet with her. I also met and talked with Macron, and I told them that they are not doing quite as much as they need to be doing on the issues of the sanctions. They are not enforcing the sanctions. They are not working as much as they should work for Ukraine. It turns out that even though logically the European Union should be our biggest partner, but technically the U.S. is a much bigger partner than the European Union. And I'm very grateful to you for that, because the United States is doing quite a lot for Ukraine, much more than the European Union, especially when we are talking about sanctions against the Russian Federation. I would also like to thank you for your great support in the area of defense. We are ready to continue to cooperate for the next steps. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more javelins from the United States defense, from the United States for defense purposes. The President. I'd like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot, and the Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say crowd strike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people. The server, they said Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on, the whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, that whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller. The incompetent performance. But they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it is very important to do it if that's possible. Yes, it is very important for me and everything that you just mentioned earlier. As for me as a president, it is very important that we are open to future cooperation. We are ready to open a new page on cooperation in relations between the United States and Ukraine. For that purpose, I just recalled our ambassador from the United States, and he will be replaced by a very competent and very experienced ambassador who will work hard on making sure that our two nations are getting closer. I would also like and hope to see him having your trust and your confidence and have personal relations with you so we can cooperate even more so. I will personally tell you that one of our assistants spoke with Mr. Giuliani and just recently, and we are hoping very much that Mr. Giuliani will be able to travel to Ukraine, and we will meet once he comes to Ukraine. I just wanted to assure you once again that you have nobody but friends around us. I will make sure that I surround myself with the best and most experienced people. I also wanted to tell you that we are friends. We are great friends. You, Mr. President, have friends in our country so we can continue our strategic partnership. I also plan to surround myself with great people, and in addition to the investigation, I guarantee as President of the Ukraine that all the investigations will be done openly and candidly. That I can assure you. Good, because I heard you had a prosecutor who was very good and he was shut down, and that's really unfair. A lot of people are talking about that. And the way they shut down your very good prosecutor down, and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was mayor of New York City and a great mayor. And I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he's a very capable guy. If you speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador from the The former ambassador from the United States, the woman was bad news. And she was dealing with dealing with in the Ukraine were bad news. So I just want to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want us to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General, that would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution, so you can look into it. It sounds horrible to me. I wanted to tell you about the prosecutor. First of all, I understand and I'm knowledgeable about the situation. Since we won the absolute majority in our parliament, the next prosecutor general will be 100% my person, my candidate, who will be approved by the parliament and will start a new prosecutor in September. He or she will look into the situation specifically to the company you mentioned in this issue. The issue of the investigation case is actually an issue of making sure to restore the honesty so that we can take care of that, and we'll work on the investigation of the case. On top of that, I would kindly ask you if you could have any additional information that you could provide to us. It would be very helpful for the investigation to make sure that we administer justice in our country with regard to the ambassador to the United States from the Ukraine. As far as I can recall, her name was Ivanovich. It was great that you were the first one who told me that she was a bad ambassador, because I agree 100%. I agree with you 100%. Her attitude towards me, as far from the best as she admired the previous president, and she was on his side. She would not accept me as a new president as well. Enough. The president. Well, she's going to go through some things. I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call, and I'm also going to have the Attorney General Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. I'm sure you will figure it out. I heard the prosecutor was treated very badly, and he was a very fair prosecutor, so good luck with everything. Your economy is going to get better and better, I predict. You have a lot of assets. It is a great country. I have many Ukrainian friends, and they're incredible people. President Zelensky. I would like to tell you that I also have quite a few Ukrainian friends that live in the United States. Actually, the last time I traveled to the United States, I stayed in New York Central Park, near New York Central Park, and I stayed at the Trump Tower. I will talk to them, and I hope to see them again in the future. I also wanted to thank you for your invitation to visit the United States, specifically Washington, D.C. On the other hand, I also want to assure you that we will be very serious about the case and will work on the investigation. As to the economy, there is much potential for our two countries, and one of the issues is very important for the Ukraine is energy independence. I believe we can be very successful in cooperating on energy independence with the United States. We are already working on cooperation. We are buying American oil, and I'm very hopeful for a future meeting. We will have more time and more opportunities to discuss these opportunities, and we'll get to know each other better. I will like to thank you very much for your support. Good. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I will tell Rudy and the Attorney General Barr to call. Thank you. Whenever you would like to come to the White House, feel free to call. Give us a date, and we will work on that. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much. I will be very happy to come, and I will be happy to meet with you personally and get to know you better. I'm looking forward to our meeting, and I will also like to invite you to visit Ukraine, and come to the city of Kyiv, which is a beautiful city. We have a very beautiful country which would welcome you. On the other hand, I believe that on September 1st, we will be in Poland, and we can meet in Poland, hopefully. After that, it might be a very good idea to travel to the Ukraine. We can either take my plane and go to the Ukraine, or we can take your plane, which is probably better than mine. Okay, we can work that out. I will look forward to seeing you in Washington and maybe in Poland, because I think we are going to be there at that time. Thank you very much, Mr. President. The President, congratulations on your fantastic job you've done. The whole world was watching. I'm sure it was much, I'm not sure it was much of an upset, but congratulations. And goodbye, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Bye-bye. End of conversation. So that was the entire transcript. Read very badly. I'm not a great reader out loud, but I try. You'll notice there is talk about Biden, but I'm going to reread that section just so you get what they were talking about. It starts out that the favor that they were talking about, that the media goes on about, was he was asking about the recent, when this call happened, it was during the time of the Mueller report being released and basically exonerating Trump, showing that he had nothing to do, there was no Russian collusion. And then, but he was like, that was on his mind, obviously. And he's like, he knew that the Ukrainians might have been involved with that whole attempt by the Democrats to undermine Trump. So he mentioned CrowdStrike, which was one of the companies that was involved with the servers, okay? And he basically said, hey, can you look into this for me? Because I know that you might know something about it. Because, and to me, that's a very reasonable thing to ask. If you know you have a country that you're partnered with, the U.S. and Ukraine are partners, they're not rival countries, and you ask that other country if they can provide information that can make your country better, there's no harm in doing that. And it sounds like, President Zelensky was quite willing to give that information. And there's no strong-arming here. It sounds like more like a bromance than an actual bullying situation. Later, now, they try to make it sound like, that Trump was trying to say that, if you do me a good favor, I'll help your economy. But that's not even like, those two things are not even connected. If you listen to the whole thing I just read, those two things are not connected. He just says that because of your leadership, you're probably going to do better in the Ukraine because you seem to be a good leader that's actually trying to do the same things that I'm doing in the United States, where I'm draining the swamp and getting rid of all this corruption. The Ukraine has been bogged down by corruption. And to have a president that's actually trying to do something to remove that corruption will make the country succeed. So they're both on the same page in this. They're both seeking to remove corruption. So the part about Biden, though, comes up later, where they were talking about some of the corruption that happened in the past, where Biden was bragging about the fact that the former prosecutor in the Ukraine, who was investigating his son, was basically told to step down by Biden. Biden threatened, and he bragged about, threatening this. He actually said, hey, I got things done. I got rid of this prosecutor. He bragged about it, and that prosecutor did get fired. Basically, Biden said, we have $1 billion that we're going to give you as aid. If you don't get this prosecutor fired, we're not giving you that aid. Biden openly admitted to this. and they got rid of that prosecutor. And so this new president is like, well, we know about this kind of corrupt behavior in the past. We're looking for your help, and we're looking to work together to kind of get rid of corruption in Ukraine. And anything we can do to work on that together, that's great. And that seems to be the gist of the conversation. They're seeking to get rid of the corruption. Has not much to do with Biden directly, but more to do with about getting rid of the corruption. Good people getting fired in the past, bad people being appointed. That's what he was more concerned about. So yeah, there's very little about Biden in this whole conversation. The name Biden is mentioned twice, and it's really him saying Biden's son, and that Biden stopped the prosecution. That's it. Oh, sorry, 3 times. He mentioned it 3 times. And he bragged. He mentioned the fact that Biden was bragging about stopping the prosecution. So he was really talking about the past corruption that happened in Ukraine. Not really about trying to undermine his political rival or something like that. And there's, is really Biden something that Trump would be worried about? I don't think so. Biden's pretty senile. It's not much concern there. So this is more about dealing with corruption rather than actually trying to undermine a political rival. So that's my 2 cents on it. Feel free to read the transcript yourself, but I really didn't see anything in here except a lot of compliments between the two, and both having sort of a similar mind about getting rid of corruption in their own countries. So sounds like there's nothing to see here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your feedback. And thanks for listening. Bye for now.